Mr.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, if you will please read the prepared statement and call the roll.
July 9, 2019. Please be advised this meeting is being taped for audio and video broadcast. The meeting will also be closed captioned. It's important that everyone speak clearly into the microphones and only one person speak at a time. Assisted listening devices are available. Mr. Burnett.
Present.
Mr. Corsello.
Here.
Mr. Hostin.
Present.
Mr. Sachinelli.
Present.
Ms. Smith. Here. Ms. Melendez. Here. Mr. Ioannidis. Mr. Dumas.
Here.
Ms. Young.
Here.
Mr. Kites.
Here.
Ms. Siegelbaum.
Here.
Mr. Hempstead. Mr. Sirenides.
Here.
Mr. Igneri. Mr. Livingston.
Here.
13 present.
12 present. We have a quorum. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, the acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 25th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Kites moves. Any corrections, omissions, deletions, additions? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as submitted? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Public participation?
Nancy Rosette.
Hi, I'm Nancy Rosette, 399 Main Avenue, and I chair the Bike Walk Commission, and I'm here to support the reappointment of two of our members. The first is Christine Basigli, who has been on the commission for the last 6 months, fulfilling a term of a member who had to resign. She is a League of American Bicyclists trainer, and she has been helping us to advance our education. She had a station at the Norwalk Bike Rodeo in May to help educate young children about safe bicycling, and she is currently working with Rec and Parks to bring a bicycle safety program to all of the Rec and Parks summer day camps. The other is Barbara McCabe, whose cat is not sick and is not on the way to the vet and is here tonight. She has also been on the commission for only 2 months because she is also fulfilling a term of a member who had to resign, and she has been on our pedestrian committee and is adding a great deal to the commission, so I would urge you to support both of their renominations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rosette. No one else has signed up to address the council. Is there anybody else that wishes to make a comment or to address the council at this time? Seeing none, we'll close public participation. Next item on the agenda, resignations and appointments. There are no resignations. Appointments, we have John Lesko to the Planning Commission. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Kites.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Lesko, but since your name appeared on the agenda, I received many calls, many good things about people who I trust and hold their opinions in high value, reach out to me with a very high opinion of you. And I do like that you have a business in our urban core, and your resume sure shows that you have a lot of leadership experience. So I'd like to move Mr. Lesko for appointment to the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Kites. Further discussion? I too would like to thank Mr. Lesko. I met him maybe a year and a half ago. He's a small business owner in the city of Norwalk and is very committed to helping make the city better. And we always appreciate when we can find someone who's willing to give their free time to serve the city. And I'm sure Mr. Lesko is going to fit in very nicely with the Planning Commission. So seeing no further comments, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Next, under reappointments, if you have no objection, we'll move them together. Christina Bisceglie and Barbara McCabe, reappointments to the Bike Walk Commission. Do I have a motion? Ms. Young.
So, Ms. Rosette, you did my job for me, so I appreciate that. I do know Ms. Bisceglie personally because my son attended AITE, and she was a counselor there, and I got to know her well, even outside of that, and just introduced myself to Ms. McCabe, and just wonderful to hear the great things already being said about you in your 2 months stint on this committee. And it's always interesting to see people's professional careers, but what they do outside of that and above that is always what is more interesting, I think. It says a lot about them. So I appreciate you and Ms. Bisceglie taking that opportunity and agreeing to be reappointed to the Bike Walk Commission.
Thank you, Ms. Young. Further comments? Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. If the appointees will come down, we'll administer the oath of office with the city clerk and make it official, so you don't have to come back to City Hall anytime soon. Yep, come right up in the front here. Okay, Mr. Lesko.
Let's start with Barbara.
Okay, we'll start with Barbara.
You raise your right hand, please. You, Barbara McCabe, having been reappointed as a member of the Bike Walk Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, or upon the pains and penalties of perjury.
Congratulations.
Sign both of these and give me back one, and you can keep the other. Okay, John, your turn for the cameras. You, John Lesko, having been appointed as a member of the Planning Commission of the City of Norwalk, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office according to your best skill and judgment, so help you God, or upon the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Congratulations. Here we go. Here you go.
John, if you'll sign 2 of these and give one back. We even provide the pen.
We're so generous. He has a favorite pen, I can tell.
No.
Oh, just
The glasses, okay.
We share that.
You ought to be a doctor with that signature.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You just pay for this one.
Under Mayor's remarks, it is my pleasure this evening. As you know, there are certain ordinance committee members who get reappointed for a 4-year term. And we have 3 people that have served the city of Norwalk in various capacities and at various intervals or various times that I would like to put forward. The first one being William Ireland, Chief Building Officer, has worked for the city for many years. Deanna D. Moore, our new Director of Health, and Brian McCann, our Assistant Corporation Counsel. So they will be reappointed for a period of 4 years. Some of them have already expired, so they'll probably serve out the remainder of whatever term they would be appointed for. So I want to congratulate them. I want to thank them for their service. They've all proven to be very competent, very professional, and it's we're very fortunate to have such talented people serving the city of Norwalk, and each day they come to work and do their job well. So if there's any comments or remarks that anybody wishes to make regarding that? No, seeing none? Okay. Under Mayor's remarks, last night I had the pleasure of going out to Sheffield Island as a guest of the Seaport Association to see, and I know Kelly was there as well, to see the new pavilion they have out there. The pavilion is available for people wishing to rent it for parties, whatever, weddings, whatever the occasion is. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to say it was my first time on Sheffield Island. It's absolutely amazing. It's a wonderful trip out there, and if you look online for the Seaport Association, they have trips out there each week during the season. One would be a clam bake, which is, from what I understand, an amazing event. They also have sunset cruises and so forth. So I would encourage not only the council members to take advantage of it, but also members of the public who may be at home watching or here in the audience, that this is a gem, and just one more gem in the city of Norwalk, and it's really a beautiful place, and the pavilion is absolutely amazing. The lighthouse was built in 1868. They're celebrating their 151st anniversary. It's just absolutely a nice trip to go out there and relax and sit and watch the water. And if you want, if you're so inclined, you can go fishing and do a bunch of other things. Last night I found it interesting. I haven't seen many horseshoe crabs lately, but on that island, we probably, in the water, as we were walking back out onto the boat, we probably saw about 30 or 35 horseshoe crabs. It's just really nice to see. So those are my remarks. Mr. Livingston?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight's consent calendar will be read by Mr. Sacchinelli. A reminder to those watching, if an item you're interested in is on the approved consent calendar, that means that it's approved by the council as a whole, and there'll be no further discussion.
All right, item 6A1, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute the agreement use of 334 Wilson Ave for Eversource Maintenance Project and use of 319 Wilson Avenue for alternate space for buses. By and between the City of Norwalk, the Norwalk Board of Education, First Student Inc., and Connecticut Light and Power Company, DBA Eversource Energy, concerning Eversource 1608 line maintenance project, and the side letter agreement annexed to the agreement as Exhibit 1. Item 7A1, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute a sub-grant agreement between the City of Norwalk and Trinity CDC, Inc. for the provision of child care services in accordance with the Office of Early Childhood Purchase of Service Contract, account noted. Item 7A2, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to sign an amendment to the agreement by and between City of Norwalk and Town of Weston for Juvenile Review Board Services to auto-renew agreement each July 1st for a one-year period, so long as the other terms of the agreement remain the same. Item 7B1, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute an amendment with T and Bond to provide additional construction observation services for the Norwalk DPW capital project through November 30th, 2019 for a sum not to exceed $126,100, accounts noted. Item B2A, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute an agreement with Deering Construction, Inc. for the project RD 20119-1, concrete curbs and sidewalks at various locations for a sum not to exceed $1,757,021.20, accounts noted. Item 7B2B, authorize the Chief of Operation and Public Works to execute orders on contract Deere Construction, Inc. for project RD 2019-1, concrete curbs and sidewalks at various locations for sum not to exceed $175,702.12, accounts noted. Item 7B is to be removed from the, 7B3 is to be removed from the agenda. Item 7B4, authorize the purchasing agent to issue purchase order for McMahon Ford to purchase of one 2019 Ford Explorer XLT for a sum not to exceed $34,103.73, accounts noted. Item 7C, Item 7D1A, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute an amendment to the agreement with Newfield Construction, Inc. as construction manager for the remediation phase of the Norwalk High School wood door paneling replacement project to accept a partial guaranteed maximum price for a total not to exceed $74,709. Funds available, account noted. Item 7D1B, authorize the NFCC to issue change orders to contract for a total not to exceed $7,470. Item 7D2A, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute a contract with AAIS for the Norwalk High School wall panel removal and remediation project for a total not to exceed $94,432. Account noted. Item 7D2B, authorize the NFCC to issue change orders on contract for a total not to exceed $9,432, and that is the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Sacchinelli. Are there any comments on the consent calendar as read? Seeing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye or raising your hand. Okay, unanimous. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Mr. Burnett, item 7C1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under the Finance Committee, item 1, resolution with respect to the authorization, issuance, and sale of up to $35 million in City of Norwalk general obligation refunding bonds. I'd like to move this item.
Mr. Burnett moves the item. Mr. Burnett, would you like to discuss it?
Yes, we have with us tonight the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Henry Dakowitz, who will go through the detail, but at a very, very high level, essentially by this refunding of bonds will net to an estimated savings to the city of approximately $2 million. So I'll let Mr. Chief Financial Officer go through the details.
Thank you. The best way to explain this, you've done refundings before, is similar to renegotiating a mortgage. When interest rates go down, you borrow new money and pay off the old money, and now your interest costs are much lower at today's interest rates. We are very fortunate in having record low interest rates right now. With the tax changes 18 months ago, there was a technical change which did not permit advance refundings any further. That meant that if we had a bond outstanding and it was not callable, where we could call it back from the investors, in the past you could do an advance refunding, where we could take money, set it aside in an investment account so that the principal plus the investment would pay off the bond when it was callable. The new tax law does not allow that. So therefore, the only bonds we're allowed to refund right now are called currently refundable, where we have call provisions. Our financial advisor, Bill Lindsay with Hilltop Securities, went through the bonds that we have available and looking at current interest rates. On the first page of the handout that I circulated, there's a calculation of the annual savings for each year the bonds are outstanding from 2020 to 2033. Fourth bullet point from the bottom, total estimated annual savings. If you added up all those annual savings, it would be $2.275 million. However, the proper financial approach is to discount those and get a net present value of savings, which is in excess of $2 million, $2,056,094. The estimated present value savings as a percentage of the bonds is 6.6%. Noted in the last bullet point, the Government Finance Officers Association best practice recommends refundings when there's greater than 3% net present value savings. So it's pretty compelling. It's a freebie that the market's giving us. Now, we are planning our annual bond issuance in 2 weeks, on July 23rd. According to IRS tax law for tax-free issuances, we must have 15 days separation from our issuance of bonds and another bond issuance, the refunding. So right now, we're scheduling the refunding for August 15th. Any questions?
Any question? Mr. Livingston?
Yeah, thank you. So is this the maximum amount you think you can refund based upon the criteria you just mentioned?
Yes.
Okay.
We looked at everything. I get bombarded by investment banks who want our business, who say, we've looked at your bonds, here's what you could refund. And week by week, as I've joined, it's gone from 1.2 million to 1.5 million to now it's in excess of 2 million. And therefore, we just teed it up and scheduled it. We're also saving on the cost of issuance. Because we're doing it right after our new money issuance, all of the information that we're using to provide to the rating agencies, et cetera, will be piggybacked, so we don't have to duplicate.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dakowitz.
Thank you very much.
I do want to say that Mr. Dakowitz has come on board, and he is bringing new ideas, new thoughts, new vision. He brings with him a wealth of knowledge and professionalism that I think in the long term is going to serve the city extremely well. So we have a cabinet meeting every Monday and share information. I would also like to invite any council member who is available to sit in on the cabinet meetings. You'll find them very interesting, informative, and you'll see a lot of the good things that are happening in the city. So
Thank you very much.
thank you, Mr. Dakowitz. And Angela, thank you as well. I know, Mr. Livingston, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to move to suspend the rules to add a new item under the Corporation Council category, I believe.
Okay, so Mr. Livingston has made a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Livingston.
Also asked if we want to move to executive session, but I don't know whether I want to do this first.
Oh, is that the one from Mr. Spar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you should announce what it is and then move to go into
Okay,
executive
so,
session.
all right, so the item is, I'll read the resolution. Resolve that the claim of Joseph Morrow versus the City of New York, Norwalk, file number 0165935, be settled up to an amount not to exceed the sum of $21,369.03 to be contributed by the City of Norwalk, and that the City Comptroller is hereby authorized to issue a city draft in said amount. Further, that the mayor be authorized to execute a settlement and/or any and all documents necessary to effectuate this settlement.
So Mr. Livingston has moved to put that item on the agenda. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. And now you make
I'd
a
like
motion.
a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session. All in favor? Mr. Casella.
With respect to that motion, my understanding is there's going to be unanimous approval. This is going to be approved unanimously. Since there's not going to be any discussion, it's necessary the first quarter.
No, if you wish to rather to vote on it right now, you all have the. I think you all have the material. If you're comfortable voting on it right now, there's no need to go into executive session.
Based on the comments in caucus, I thought we were, but
Well, Mr. Livingston has moved the item.
Yeah.
Is there any objection to voting on the item?
May I ask a question really quick, Mr. Mayor? This was directed to Corporation Counsel, Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
I mean, do you know otherwise? Have you spoken to Mr. Spar? Is there any other reason you believe that we should go into executive session for
No,
information that we haven't received already?
This is very, very basic liability, property damage.
Okay.
It's just a matter of course that we put this, close this as a matter of executive session because it's a recommendation. Sorry, it's a recommendation by the law department. But if the council doesn't feel it's necessary, it's not necessary.
Then I will withdraw my motion to go into executive session.
Okay, so Mr. Livingston has withdrawn his motion to go into executive session. He has read into the record the item from the Corporation Counsel's office. If there's no further discussion, I will take a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Is there another motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Ms. Melendez. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, council.